Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to go through some volume profiling here, just an introduction to it. For those of you not using it and are looking for an analytical edge to your day-to-day trading, let me go ahead and introduce you to one of my favorite tools called the volume profile. You're looking at three of them here on my chart. This is a 30-minute chart of the S&P 500 current contract. Most of you guys are familiar with volume on your charts. That's assessing volume at a particular time of day. This is volume at price. So we're assessing that y-axis, not the x. So this is volume at specific price points. So you got your low of the day, you got your high of the day, and you got some other data here in the middle that we'll cover. And obviously there's very different shapes of the days, and we'll cover some of that stuff here too. So let's kind of get into it. So with volume profiling, you're able to identify value. You can assess and confirm some direction, and you can also establish really key levels throughout your trading, which become very handy. In my assessment, there's really four quadrants of trading. You got your system that has an edge to it, whatever system you're trading, whether it's order flow, Elliott wave, price action, whatever it is that you're doing, you've got your system with an edge, right? That's number one. Number two, you've got a consistent analysis regimen, which includes macro analysis or a mid-range, intermediate analysis, and then also your daily micro analysis as well. And so we're going to hammer in on a little bit of that, a tool that you can throw into this quadrant called volume profiling. You've also got your risk management side of things, and then you've also got your self-discipline side of things. These are this is the one that really can't be taught other than by yourself. So we'll dive into that, but this is really the quadrant we're going to focus on here today. And so what is a volume profile? Let's just go ahead and answer that. I think we kind of covered a little bit of its volume at price. It adds a dimension to that y-axis, not just looking at price, but you're looking at the number or the volume, a representation of the volume of transactions that have gone off at that specific price point. And so this tool gives a nice visualization of where the masses or where all the traders are establishing price or price equilibrium or a fair value for the day. Or at any given moment, as you pull up a current price chart, you can tell just by looking at a couple different things what fair value is or what the price equilibrium is on the day. Again, it's number of contracts transacted at a given price. And they can, when you string a few of these profiles together, you can really give yourself a nice contextual story of what's happening in the marketplace in the mid to near term. Okay, so let's go through the anatomy of a profile. So you've got this is again we got the high price of the day, the low price of the day, and here's the data in the middle here. You've got this gray shaded area here. This is called your value area. This is where 70% of the day's transactions went off, whether they're shares or contracts, depending on whatever you're trading. But this is where 70% of those transactions went off in this gray area here. So then you got your, and this is called, again, the value area high, or this is called the value area. Here's your value area high level. Here's your value area low level. And then this dark level right here, this is called your POC. It's the point of control. It's where the most volume went off throughout the course of the day is, right through this level right here. And then obviously you've got your extreme. So if there's 70% that went off in here, that means between these two, there's 30% that went off. So these are what we call extreme prices, or 30% of the volume. So in specifically in this kind of a day here, you've got your range-based D-shaped profile. This is a balanced profile or an efficient profile, they'll call it. And this is usually associated with an inside day or a sideways or part of a series of sideways ranging days. This is kind of what you're looking at for that profile. Okay, so now we've got the anatomy and the building blocks of a profile. So let's kind of dig in a little further on what the different types of profiles are. You've got, again, we just covered it, your D-shaped profile. It's balanced, it's efficient, it's kind of an inside range-based day. Then you've got your B-shaped profile, or your double distribution profile, where you can watch value shift from low to high or high to low. And what you're really looking at when you see that is you're looking at accumulation, then distribution, but people call it double distribution, whatever the case is, depending on whether you're accumulating up top and price is shifting lower, or accumulating from the start and then price is shifting higher. You got your B-shaped profile, okay? And you got your lowercase b. And again, just to cover, these are the textbook definitions of these, and I'll show you these, and I'll show you a couple of anomalies on top of this as well that fall outside of these definitions. But your typical lowercase b shaped profile is your downtrending profile. Value is shifting down and then consolidating, right? And then your P shaped profile is an uptrending profile. That value is shifting upwards and then consolidating. But again, the current profiles, I can't stress this enough, the current profiles are dynamic. They're not static. So if you pull up a current price chart with the volume profile on it, you're going to see a dynamic current volume profile going off that is ever changing. So a D-shaped profile that trades as a D for most of the day can shift to a B or a P, right? And so I'll cover that here in just a second. Or to another, or capital B, right? So it just depends on the context and what we're looking at. And so here we have, this is what I would call a D-shaped profile. Now, when you're looking at profiles day to day, they're not going to fall perfectly into these shapes to like a perfection little mirror of these shapes. They're going to be close, right? But you're going to be able to see the basic structure of these letters, right? So here's your D. This is your basic balance profile. You got your value area high, you got your value area low, your POC. This is where all the volume went off. And if you look at if you draw a picture of the high nodes, if you were to draw a line from right here and connect all those high nodes, you got yourself a D. And you can even say that it's a balanced portfolio or balanced profile that's weighted towards the bottom a little bit. So. And you can see a couple other pieces to talk about here are these high value nodes here, and then you got your low value nodes in here. And so this right here would be considered an inefficiency. It would be considered a gap, right, within this profile. And in an efficient market, over the course of time, the price is going to want to fill that in. The market's going to want to fill that in to a certain degree and distribute the transactions as evenly as it possibly can. So, and a standard example that you're going to see when you're trading live in the markets is you're going to see that value area break and shift upwards and try to fill this in. And you're going to see some resistance with this high value node. It'll be a price magnet, but you're going to see some resistance here. And depending on how bullish of a market you're in, if price keeps going up, it'll break right through here. And then this will offer support to the upside. So it'll be resistance at first, and then it will be support to the upside as it breaks through. So just something to notate as you're watching your profile. I always like to see where the high volume nodes are at, and the relevant ones anyway. I'll mark off, and I'll put a little rectangle around here, and then extend it out, and see how price responds around there. And you can frame some trades around that as well. Pretty cool little technique. Okay. So here is your B, capital B shaped profile. Okay. Again, these are not perfect, but you get the gist here. So you've got, this is your bullish capital B shaped profile. Here's your bearish. And how do I know that? Because you can clearly see that price traded down here for a while. The POC was down here for a while. And then we broke out of this pretty hard actually. And then value shifted up top here. Okay. And just the reverse happened here. POC was right here throughout the day, and then we broke down and we started to distribute down here, and now price is consolidating down here, right? So you got your start of the market, and your close is kind of geared towards down here. Okay, that is the two different types, and you just really assess that based on the POC when you're putting these in context day to day and stringing together. That's what you're kind of looking at. Okay, let's shift to a trending profile. So this is your capital P shaped profile. And you've got, this is bullish. Again, textbook wise, this is a bullish profile where you see price climbing to a new shifting value upwards. So price breaking out and then assessing value up at the top, okay? And then the reverse of that is the bearish, the lowercase b profile, where price is breaking down, and then the profile is closing or consolidating, I should say, down towards the bottom here. Okay. Again, these are the textbook definitions of them, and there's a couple of anomalies to show you here. So as you can see, you have a B-shaped profile that price broke out to the top side and closed up here. So we have price opening within value right in here. Price ranged through this D-shaped profile here, and then broke out. So what you see in the last, and this is very standard, it happens all the time, and there's a reason that this happens. So typically what you'll have is you have a D-shaped profile right here for the bulk of the day, like 90% of the day, 95% of the day, the price is just ranging inside, and then breaks out within the last hour, half hour, 2 hours of the day, and then breaks out and closes up top. Okay. And what that is what you're looking at price breaking out to the upside of a D-shaped profile. But what you're really looking at is double distribution, and just happened that the day closed and couldn't break out in that other part of the D-shaped profile. Okay. So if you look at this, is 2 days strung together. You've got your D-shaped profile here, breakout, and then distribution up here where the value shifted over 2 days. So it's kind of a split. And the reverse is same for the P, the capital P shaped profile. Price closed down here and likely is just going to create that consolidation or that value shift to the downside on a next day. So you'll see that quite often where the value again, price was just chopping through this value range right here, and then bled out through the last, or broke down through the last part of the day and closed at the bottom here. Okay, so again, you're going to want to string this together in context. It's not, you're working with a dynamic tool here in the present anyway. So context matters a lot when you're assessing these. So let's go ahead and read some of this context in the marketplace. So here you have a breakout to the upside. You have I overlaid price on here on these profiles to kind of give you that sentiment of what I'm talking about here. So this profile goes along with this day. So you can clearly see we came from a breakout to the upside here. And then the Asian session here in the overnight chopped to the sideways. You can see value being built through here, and then price dipped down. We built a little bit of value to the downside. There's quite a bit of volume that went off down here, and then we broke out to the upside. So this, I know you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. There's no letter that matches that, but if you look at it, you can call this a B. It's a double distribution day. POCs shifted to the top, so value is shifting up from wherever it came from down here. You can clearly see that value is shifting up. So this is a double distribution day. But if you look at if you connect the high value nodes, this is actually really a D-shaped day for a balanced profile with some gaps in here if you really want to overly analyze this. But this is just a trending day. It's a double distribution day. So from that trending day, what do we have? We have essentially an inside day, chop range day. It's a P that we talked about earlier, bled down a little bit. So you're going to see that quite often through a consolidation period. So after you see expansion, typically you're going to find that consolidation. So here we got 1, 2 days of consolidation and then breakout to the upside. So when you're looking at this, you can see the breakout happen. And you can, if you watch this value area high here, as you're trading from a daily standpoint, when you're watching this value area high here, and especially during consolidation, you're going to want to watch that prior day high, that prior day high right here, as you can frame some trades around that prior day high and that value area high as well, because you're either going to play a reversal like you could have right here, or you're going to play that breakout like you're going to play right here and here as price breaks out of that prior day high. So those levels become very, very valuable to watch throughout the course of the day. And then all of a sudden you have this breakout here, you poke through a little bit of consolidation through the AM session, then you break out Probably some 7:30 news here that came out, and then opened up right here and broke out even further on a double distribution day. Another expansion up, and then followed by what? Consolidation. Correct. So now you got the Asian session chopping sideways, and then the open, and then you're chopping straight through here, just a straight inside day. This value area right here, for those of you that enjoy a tight range-based day to trade in, you can mark the value area high, the value area low here, and you can just play, sell the highs and buy the lows all day long. And you can frame trades around an inside day as well. And then what happens? Price breaks out of here. You can see the value area was tested, dipped down into the prior day low, bounced off this value area high in POC because it was very tight range, and then broke out from there to the upside. So you can definitely assess some market structure throughout the course of the day. You can assess some direction, and you can get a good sense after a breakout of what is potentially to take place in the next trading day. And there's some signals and clues along the way to give you a nice bias for the day, especially in a broader context bull market. Okay, so that is how you string some of these days together and read some context in the marketplace. And this is obviously a bull market context. Okay, I always say you're going to want to string 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, 7, 10 days together to really be able to dial in and give yourself a good, comfortable, I guess I would say, story to tell yourself about what's going on in the marketplace. So again, just some final notes here. Current profile is dynamic. It's not static. Once the period closes, that profile does become static and it doesn't change. So now you can string together the context that I was talking about. And really, that is what matters, is the context. String a series of those profiles together to tell the story. Know where the relevant prior day high, prior day low, value area low, and value area high are within your trading, and you can frame some really solid trades around those levels. And that's kind of it. That's really the introductory session on volume profiling. There's obviously some more advanced stuff that you can use. You can use an initial balance volume profile. There's all kinds of different volume profiles you can throw out there throughout the course of the day and measure different types of things. But this is just kind of give you a little bit of a flavor for what volume profiling is. So hope that was helpful. Good luck out there. Happy trading.